Hello from Dhaka. This is Moutushi Jubaida Rahman and you are watching Basis News. At first, the headlines. Chief Advisor returns home from Rome. Chief Advisor asks authorities concerned to probe Mirpur fire incident. July National Charter sent to political parties. Let's hold election to save people, says Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. Israel to reopen Gaza's Rafah crossing Wednesday, says Israeli public broadcaster. Now let's go for the details. Chief Advisor returns home from Rome. Chief Advisor to the interim government of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus, has returned home this morning, ending his two-day official visit to attend the World Food Forum at the Food and Agricultural Organization headquarters in Rome, Italy. A flight of Biman Bangladesh Airlines carrying the chief advisor landed at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Dhaka around 8:20 a.m. today, Wednesday. The flight left Rome at 7:20 p.m. on Tuesday local time. During the visit, Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus attended the World Food Forum 2025 at the headquarters of the Food and Agriculture Organization in Rome. He delivered the keynote speech at the grand opening session of the forum on Monday. On the sidelines, Professor Yunus met with Brazilian President, Mayor of Rome, Prime Minister of Djibouti, and FAO Director General. He also joined Brazilian President Lula da Silva and FAO Director General Dr. Ku Donggyoi to inaugurate the new office of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty at the FAO headquarters. Besides, World Food Programme Acting Executive Director and International Fund for Agricultural Development President called on the chief advisor at his hotel in Rome. Leaders of the Bangladeshi community in Italy also met him during the visit. Chief Advisor asks authorities concerned to probe Mirpur fire incident. Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus has directed the authorities concerned to investigate the devastating fire at a garment factory and chemical warehouse in Shialbari, Mirpur, which has so far claimed 16 lives and injured several others. The Chief Advisor's press secretary Shafiqul Alam briefed the media in Rome on Tuesday, saying Professor Yunus was informed about the incident during his visit to Italy. Professor Yunus expressed deep shock at the loss of lives, saying, "We stand beside the affected families." The press secretary said that similar fire incidents had occurred earlier in Bangladesh due to illegally established chemical factories. According to officials, the fire reportedly started at the Shah Alam Chemical Warehouse around 11:40 a.m. on Tuesday and later spread to the Anwar Fashion Garments factory. Firefighters recovered 16 bodies from the first and second floors of the garments factory and sent them to Dhaka Medical College Hospital. 8 others sustained burn injuries, with 3 receiving treatment at the National Institute of Burn and Plastic Surgery. Social Welfare Advisor Sharmin Sonia Murshid visited the site today and said those responsible will be brought to justice. She also called for relocating chemical warehouse from densely populated area. A 5-member team of the fire service entered the warehouse today to identify the source of smoke and ensure safety measures. July National Charter sent to political parties. The National Consensus Commission has announced that the much-awaited July National Charter 2025 has been sent to political parties across the country. The charter was also officially published last night. The 40-page dossier presents the political history of Bangladesh from the British colonial period to the July 2024 mass uprising. It highlights key events including the language movement of 1952, the education movement of 1962, the autonomy movement of 1966, the mass uprising of 1969, the 1970 general elections, and the liberation war of 1971. The Charter also reflects on the return to democracy in 1979 and reporting that the democratic path was short-lived. It criticizes the 3 controversial elections of 2014, 2018 and 2024, saying they weakened democratic institutions and encouraged corruption. It further recalls the people's movements of the last 16 years, including the road safety movement in 2018, the anti-quota and anti-discrimination movements, and the July 2024 uprising against fascism. Finally, the National Charter 2025 sets out a 7-point commitment calling on all political parties to sign it and uphold the people's will expressed in the July 2024 uprising based on democracy and national unity. Let's hold election to save people, says Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. Bangladesh Nationalist Party Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir today urged all political parties and citizens not to create divisions over demands for a referendum and proportionate representation. He made the remarks while meeting people at Gauriya Union Porishad in Thakurgaon 1 constituency. The BNP leader called for full cooperation to hold the upcoming general election quickly to safeguard the people. He said debates on proportionate representation can take place in the next parliament. Mirza Fakhrul criticized demonstrations aimed at foiling the election and emphasized that his party does not support politics of vengeance. He stressed unity among Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, and Christian communities and called for living together in amity. He also reaffirmed the party's commitment to create jobs for 1 crore people and work toward national development. The BNP Secretary General said the July Charter will be signed with the consent of those who agree. He described it as a step toward reforming the politics of the country and said issues not agreed upon will be put to the people for support. Since Tuesday, Mirza Fakhrul has been touring his constituency to garner public support for the party symbol, sheaf of paddy, in the upcoming general election. Israel to reopen Gaza's Rafah crossing Wednesday, says Israeli public broadcaster. Israel will reopen the Rafah crossing on Wednesday to allow humanitarian aid to enter Gaza from Egypt, according to Israeli public broadcaster KAN. KAN reported that 600 trucks of aid will be dispatched to the Gaza Strip by the United Nations approved international organizations, the private sector, and donor countries. The reopening of the crossing follows Hamas handing over the remains of 4 more hostages late Tuesday under a ceasefire deal that took effect on Friday. The decision was made by Israel's political leadership. Under the United States brokered agreement, Hamas was to return all hostages, both living and dead, within 72 hours of the truce. So far, Hamas has released all 20 living hostages and the remains of 8 of the 28 dead. KAN said Israel decided to reopen Rafah after being informed that Hamas would return 4 additional bodies on Wednesday, though the group has not yet confirmed it. Rafah crossing is Gaza's main entry point for humanitarian aid. The United Nations and other agencies have repeatedly called for its reopening as Gaza faces a worsening humanitarian crisis after nearly 2 years of war. That's all for now. For more update, visit pssnews.net. Thanks for watching.